Thank you for listening to the show on Really Big Something Channel. April 27th, 2018.
The Kuhner Report is powered by Kelly Financial Services. Cleaning up your financial bull. Get the peace of mind that you deserve at Kelly Financial Services.
2:05 here on the great WRKO. Okay, my friends, let me ask you this. You walk into a restaurant or a bar. You happen to be wearing a Make America Great Again baseball cap. Can the owner of that establishment deny you service based on the fact that you are a supporter of President Trump, based off of the fact that you're wearing that hat? Can they kick you out of that restaurant or that bar? Now, the reason why I ask is because, get ready, Kanye West may be leading the rebellion, but the left does not want you wearing that cap, and it's almost they want to turn it into the star, the Jewish Star of David under Nazi Germany. They want to use it to brand you as a second-class citizen. You think I'm overstating it? Okay, listen now to this story, and I want to give a big hat tip to the New York Post for first breaking it. In January 2017, Greg Piatek from Philadelphia, along with some of his friends, went to New York City. And they went there in particular, basically on a little trip, a weekend trip, to, look at the Big Apple, catch the sights, go do a little bit of walking. And they also went to visit the 9/11 memorial site there. After they visited the 9/11 memorial site, they then went into a bar in New York's West Side Village. It's called, in Manhattan, it's called the Happiest Hour. It wasn't so happy to them. They walked in wearing their Make America Great Again baseball caps. Remember, Trump was about to be officially inaugurated. They had voted for the president, and they were happy now he's going to be president of the United States. They walked into the bar. Nobody wanted to serve them. So then they complained to the bartender, who had been extremely rude to them, saying, I'm not going to get you guys anything. They complained to the manager, saying the bartender has been incredibly rude to us. He doesn't want to serve us. According to Greg Piatek, the people that were with him, his friends, and other witnesses at the bar, this part is now uncontested. Nobody is irrefutable. Nobody's refuting this. The manager of the bar said, we hate Trump here. We don't serve your kind here. Your Trump supporters, get out. And they were essentially chased out of the bar with some of the other liberal patrons cheering and clapping as they were essentially kicked out of the bar. Now, the manager and the bartender admit they were not rowdy. Greg Piatek, those wearing the Make America Great Again baseball cap, they were not offensive. They didn't insult anybody. They didn't shout obscenities. They were very polite. They did nothing in a threatening gesture. They were simply kicked out because they wore that cap, which signified to them that they were Trump supporters. Greg Piatek and his friends took Happiest Hour to court, saying that as Americans, they felt violated. The liberal judge overseeing the case argued that the owners of Happiest Hour had every single right to kick Greg Piatek and all of the Trump supporters out. Why? Because according to them, New York state and local law only protects discrimination based on religion, but not political discrimination. So if you want to discriminate against somebody's political beliefs, according to the judge, Judge Dan Cohen, then they are completely within their right to do so. So, according now to New York, and according now to this latest ruling by this judge, Trump supporters, if they find out you are a Trump supporter, whether through a T-shirt, I don't know, a button, a baseball cap, whatever it may be, then an owner of an establishment, whether it be a bar, a restaurant, whatever it is, they can kick you out and there is nothing you can do about it. In other words, they can refuse you service. Full stop. Now, a couple of points, and then I want to throw it open to you. 617-266-6868. Number one, notice the fundamental hypocrisy and double standard here. A Christian baker has to be compelled to say bake a cake for, let's say, a lesbian or gay couple. And if they do not, and we know this because it happened in Oregon, for example, you are driven out of business. They will close your business down. They will fine you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And essentially you will be bankrupted and financially destroyed. If you're a photographer in New Mexico and you do not want, on religious grounds, conscience grounds, you do not want to say photograph a gay or lesbian wedding, you are compelled to do so, or they will close your business down and they will fine you nearly $1 million and essentially bankrupt and destroy you financially. So, if you're a member of the LGBTQ community, they must be served. If you are an African American, you must be served. If you're a Latino, you must be served. If you're a woman, you must be served. But if you are a conservative, or in particular, if you support the duly elected president of the United States, we're not talking Adolf Hitler here. We're not talking Joseph Stalin. The guy who won the last election, the current president of the United States, they can kick you out and there's nothing you can do about it. Absolutely nothing. Now, you tell me if this is not classic discrimination against conservatives. It's now encoded in law. In law. So, you can't discriminate against liberals. You can't discriminate against transsexuals or people who are transgendered, gays, lesbians, bisexuals, blacks, Asians, Latinos, handicapped people. Am I forgetting anybody? Muslims, of course. You can't discriminate. In other words, there are whole classes of people you must serve under the law. However, if you're a conservative or a Trump supporter, blank you. They might as well just have them wear the Star of David, like they did under Nazi Germany. They just tell us you're a second-class citizen. Now, a couple of points, and then I want to hear from you. 617-266-6868 is the number. Let me be very candid with you, okay? Like I'm in the confessional. And I know this is a very controversial position, but I believe in freedom, genuine freedom. I am a libertarian constitutionalist at heart. I have always argued for this right, and I'm not going to change now because of what's happened to this poor guy, Greg Piatek, although I think he's really getting screwed here. I believe if it is your establishment, your business, your restaurant, whatever, that you invested in through your blood, sweat, and tears, you have the right, fundamental private property right, fundamental right of freedom of association to decide who can come into your establishment and who can't. I honestly believe that. You have the right to refuse service. I really do believe that. It's your business. The government should not compel you. It shouldn't. And you can deny somebody service. You don't, if they come in with their shirts off. No, I want you to be properly clothed. We don't want you with bare feet or in sandals. Whatever it is, whatever the reason or motive is, and let then the free market decide. Well, Jeff, what if you have racists? Fine. Let them be a racist. Let's take the worst case scenario. No blacks allowed. That business wouldn't last very long. Because if I went into establishment and I saw no blacks allowed, you're not getting my business. Bye-bye. And eventually that person would go broke. So I believe let the free market decide. Don't compel people or owners against their will to serve people that they don't want to serve. Furthermore, I even think for you, I'm just being honest with you, would I want to go to Happiest Hour? Let's say I'm there with Greg Piatek. He's got the Make America Great Again hat on. I don't. They kick him out. They serve me. Do I want that owner to be making money off of me? No. I don't want him to not only make a profit off of me because I don't want to give him my money, but more than that, I know he's going to probably use some of my money to, let's say, fund the Democrats, fund the liberal candidates, fund Hillary Clinton. So to me, I'm happy that you're telling me what your political views are. I'm happy that you're telling me we can't stand Trump supporters. Good. It's because I don't want to give you my money. Because I know it's probably going to be used against me. So on both grounds, for me as a customer, I don't want to be supporting an owner and an establishment who I can't stand. And number two, I just believe on freedom grounds, you should be able to deny somebody service, whatever the reason may be. However, we don't live in Jeff Kuhner's world. We live in this world, in the real world. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. And if Christian bakers have to be compelled to bake a cake, if Christian photographers have to be compelled to, photograph a wedding, if according to their reading of the 1964 Civil Rights Act, and that's what this is all about, that you have to, establishments have to engage in public service, and because of public service, you can't refuse service to anybody. Well, if that's the case, with all due respect, Greg Piatek is an American citizen. Greg Piatek is a taxpayer. Greg Piatek is an American who has the right to support any candidate he wants. And this is pure and out discrimination. So if we're going to have discrimination laws, then I'm sorry. If I have to serve Muslims or anybody in the LGBTQ community or transgendered people or African Americans or Latinos or Asians or the handicapped or whatever, the elderly, or everybody now has got a category, then I'm sorry, but then you have to serve conservatives. Take your pick. Instead, what they're deliberately doing is they are carving out protected classes and leaving one big, massive loophole. And you know what that loophole is? A U. You know what that loophole is? Conservatives and supporters of Trump. Well, I'm sorry, but that's now a two-tier legal system. That, my friends, is classic second-class citizenship. That's pure and utter discrimination. Either we're all treated equally or we're not. Take door one or take door two. And so what I am now urging all conservatives to do is very simple. From now on, wear your Make America Great Again cap or whatever, a shirt or a button or whatever. And if establishments don't want to serve you, we should then go after every single one of these establishments and let everybody know they are anti-conservative bigots. This is all-out discrimination. And we should boycott every single one of those establishments and drive them into the ground. If that's how the left wants to play it against us, then it's time we taught the left a lesson. Either we have genuine, real tolerance, which the left doesn't want. You don't want it? Fine. Then I want equality under the law. That bar owner had no business kicking out Greg Piatek. He has every right to be served. And the next time they do something like this, conservatives should protest and boycott right in front of it. Agree, disagree, 617-266-6868 is the number. Let me ask you this. Do bar owners, restaurant owners, private businesses, do they have the right to refuse service to conservatives and Trump supporters? In other words, can they engage in political discrimination? And has this ever happened to you? And what should conservatives and Trump voters do about it? 617-266-6868. Your calls next. 23 here on the great WRKO. Okay. In a landmark ruling, Judge Dan Cohen rules in New York that bar owners, restaurant owners, anybody who owns an establishment has the right, in his words, to quote unquote, politically discriminate. And so Judge David Cohen said that, quote, plaintiff does not state any faith-based principle to which the hat relates to. In other words, the person who was kicked out for wearing the Make America Great Again hat. And so, therefore, the claim that the plaintiff was not served and eventually escorted out of the bar because of his perceived support for President Trump is not outrageous conduct. Literally, this is straight from the ruling of the judge. So it's not outrageous. He had a Make America Great Again baseball cap. Too bad. They don't like your politics. They cannot serve you, and they can kick you out. That's what happened in New York. My question to you is, what should conservatives do? 617-266-6868. Frank in Woburn. You're up next. Go ahead, Frank.
Jeff, hi. I think you're totally misreading the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Okay? Go back in time. It's 1960. It's Woolworth, and a black person wants to go in and sit at the lunch counter. Can you deny serving him the food he wants to eat?
Well, what do you mean?
Hello?
No, what do you mean?
Well, you're saying that this person at Happiest Hour doesn't have to serve the people that walked in with their Make America Great hat, right? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying something even more than that. What I'm saying is, if you own a business, you have the right to refuse service to anybody for any reason.
No, you don't.
I disagree. I think you should.
Well, you're wrong, Jeff. Let me explain. The 1964...
No, I understand that. No, Frank, we don't need...
No, you don't.
Frank, listen to me. I understand that. It is in the 1964 Rights Act. It's the Civil Rights Act. I agree with you.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so...
You're not reading that right, Jeff. Here's the deal. Here's what you have to do. If you own a public retail establishment, you're offering something to sell. Somebody has, of course, the right, whether he's black, white, or indifferent, whatever, to come in and purchase whatever you have to offer because you're offering that to the public, okay?
I understand. Frank, listen to me.
No, you're wrong, Jeff.
What am I wrong about?
Take the Christian baker, okay, with the gay couple. They come in, they wanted to buy a cake and have something specifically written on the cake that they wanted, and the baker didn't want to do that, right?
The baker didn't want to sell them the cake, yes.
No, he has to sell them the cake. He doesn't have to put whatever the right...
No, he doesn't. Look, Frank, listen.
No, Jeff, you are totally wrong.
Listen, calm down. You don't even know what you're saying. The 1964 Civil Rights Act, this provision, I disagree with. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not... Hold on. I'm not saying it's not in the Civil Rights Act. It is. And I'm telling you, hold on. I'm telling you that provision, I believe, is a fundamental assault on freedom of association, frankly, economic freedom in general, but especially private property rights. So you're trying to cite to me the Civil Rights Act saying, well, they're compelled to do it. Yes. And I'm telling you, it's very dangerous because now what I'm claiming is, and I'm right, you've created all of these protected classes, except now you can legitimately discriminate against conservatives. So what I'm saying is, fine, you want to go by the 1964 Civil Rights Act? Go. Then Greg Piatek should be served a whiskey. Give him his Bud Light.
Yeah.
Give him his Bud Light.
Yeah, but they have to do that because they're opening their establishment to the public.
That's something else. What I'm telling you is this. What I'm telling you is that to me, they're unfairly applying the 1964 Civil Rights Act. They're cherry picking and selecting, and they're creating simply protected classes. And I'm telling you that conservatives and Trump supporters are now being discriminated in law. They are.
So the blacks in the South in the 1960s are a specifically designated class, protected class. Is that what you're saying? What was the civil rights?
Buddy, can I ask you? No, really, are you normal? Are you normal?
Jeff, you're not getting it. You don't get it.
You don't get it. The 1964 Civil Rights Act. The 1964 Civil Rights Act, okay, if you actually read it, I read it, compels every establishment owner to provide service to the public. Okay? So that means you cannot, by law, under the 64 Civil Rights Act, deny anybody essentially service based on race, color, creed. They run down a whole list. And then since 1964, there has been a whole body of law established on top of that where they keep adding protected classes. So you have to bake a cake for a gay person. You have to photograph a gay wedding. Even though it's your own business.
No, you don't. No,
even though it's your own business, you're compelled. Yes.
You have to photograph a gay. No, you don't.
Yes, in New Mexico, the federal judge ruled that that woman had to photograph a lesbian wedding. And because she didn't,
that's involuntary servitude. That has nothing to do with the Civil Rights Act. That has nothing to do with
this guy, I'm telling you, buddy,
God, Jeff, you are so way off.
buddy. The Civil Rights Act was passed in 1964. There have been civil rights laws passed building upon the 64 Civil Rights Act, where they have carved out all kinds of protected classes, building off of that public service provision, okay? And one of them now is the LGBTQ community. Now, what I'm saying is they have carved out protected classes. The last one that they haven't carved out is for conservatives and Trump supporters. So my argument is a simple one. Either you protect conservatives and Trump supporters, or let's go back to the way this country was run for hundreds of years, and it's called good old-fashioned economic freedom. And let people decide who they want to serve. Let me give you the worst-case scenario. But what if Woolworths in the South doesn't want to serve blacks? In today's context, Woolworths would be out of business tomorrow. An owner has the right to refuse service, in my view. I disagree with that provision. I think it's a bad provision. I think that part of the law is anti-freedom, anti-Bill of Rights, anti-Constitution. Do you get it now? Genius. 617-266-6868. Okay, my friends. President Trump is welcoming German Chancellor Angela Merkel to the White House. Evan Heidenrich is in the WRKO newsroom with the details on Frau Merkel's visit. What are they, Evan? 2:36 here on the great WRKO. Okay, joining me now, as he often does at this time, John Boudris, good friend of mine. He is the co-host of Kelly Financial Services Show, which you can hear here on WRKO every Saturday, i.e. tomorrow, from 9 until noon. John, how are you, my friend?
I'm well, and you've given me an entrepreneurial buzz here. I see a business opportunity. Some smart entrepreneur should open up a bar that excludes libs and leftists and makes it mandatory to wear a MAGA hat, and you have to toast President Trump every half hour. I got the name of it already. The Conservative Canteen, where the Constitution is cool. You like it?
John, I've got to ask you, what's your take on that ruling by that judge up in New York that basically Happiest Hour, this bar in Manhattan, had every right to kick out Greg Piatek and his friends because they were wearing a Make America Great Again hat, i.e. they were Trump supporters. So according to him, political discrimination is not protected under the law. If you want to discriminate, you can on political grounds. What do you make of that?
I'll answer the question with a question. If that gentleman were, let's say, 8 years ago, and he was wearing a Hope and Change Obama hat and was tossed out and sued, what do you think the decision of the judge would have been?
Oh, my God. I mean, they would have dropped the hammer on that owner.
They would have dropped the hammer on that bar, and he would be closed down, and he'd lose his shirt. So this is just that it's a lib activist judge. That's all we can make of it.
John, okay, let me ask you this. Social Security is in deep trouble. I know Kelly Financial Services monitors this stuff very, very well. What is going on with Social Security? I'm very concerned about it. And we've got a lot of people who listen to this show, either retired or approaching retirement. Is there anything that Kelly Financial can do for them to warn them about the dangers now of the growing insolvency of Social Security?
Well, the answer is yes, and tomorrow's discussions will shed that scary light or dark on Social Security, because Social Security is broke. You know, the Washington elites talk about the lockbox all the time. They like to talk about the Social Security lockbox. Well, there's nothing in that lockbox but IOUs from the billions of dollars they've stolen from it over the decades. Right now, all of the Social Security taxes that the federal government takes from everyone who's working goes to pay the Social Security benefits of those now collecting it. And in 12 to 15 years out from now, it's projected that all of that Social Security tax money that will be collected will fall short by about 25%, which means that the only thing that can happen is that benefits will be cut, the indexing for inflation will be reduced or eliminated, the minimum age at which you can begin to collect it will be pushed into later age, or taxes on those working will increase, or some miserable combination of those things. In short, it means don't rely on it. So I'd encourage those who are listening, who are looking to retirement, to call Kelly Financial at 888-800-1881 and make a reservation for one of their dinner events, because an all-in-one place, you can sit down and talk with their whole team of experts on all matters financial. There's a couple coming up, May 24th at the Tuscan Kitchen in Burlington, and June 14th at the new Davio's in Braintree, right near the home office. And places for both of those, particularly the Davio's, won't last too long. So I suggest that people call fairly soon at 888-800-1881. You really shouldn't be going it alone, and you really shouldn't be looking at Social Security as the bedrock of your retirement.
Oh, John, I could not agree with you more. To everybody out there, please, I'm telling you, for your family, for your loved ones, you have to protect yourself while you can. 888-800-1881. That's what Kelly Financial will do for you. There's nobody I trust more. John, I want to ask you one other quick question. Obviously, you're talking about Social Security on tomorrow's show. What else is on tap for tomorrow's show between 9 and noon?
That's pretty much the big focus of it. Another key element will be how to time your retirement to best maximize the enjoyment that you're going to have in that retirement, and that's another key issue that is on the table.
John, do you think, for the most part, Social Security in maybe 15, 20 years just will not be there for us?
Well, it will be there, but it will be vastly reduced. That's my forecast.
So basically, you better prepare now.
You better prepare now. And the scary thing is, 61% of those who are looking into retirement are banking on Social Security being the lion's share of what they live on.
Oh my God!
And that's just a disastrous outlook.
John, I'm going to listen to tomorrow's show. I'm urging everybody, please listen to tomorrow's show. Very, very important show. And if you can, John, can you give those two events again, those two dinners? I'm inviting all of you personally to show up at these dinners. You can make your complimentary reservation now.
at May 24th is at the Tuscan Kitchen in Burlington, and June 14th at the new Davio's in Braintree, and that's a fabulous place, right near the home office.
888-800-1881 is the number to call. We have been talking with John Boudris, really one of the best guys on radio today. He is the co-host of the Kelly Financial Services Show. You can listen to it every Saturday, tomorrow, from 9 a.m. until noon. John, keep up the excellent work, my friend.
We'll see you soon, and say hi to the family.
I will. God bless you, buddy. 617-266-6868. Okay, Charlene in Boston. Thanks for holding, and welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks, Jeff, for taking me. So I feel like you're misrepresenting this whole thing in New York.
Okay, how?
Because he went in, he was served. According to the court records, he had a $186 bar tab, gave a 20% tip, and was asked to leave because he was being verbally abusive to the staff. And the judge had no other choice but to rule in that favor because political association is not a protected class. So he could not make up a class, protected class on the spot. According to the law, he wasn't one. He also wasn't kicked out because of his Make America Great hat. He was served almost $200 worth of drinks, and he gave a 20% tip. So there's a lot more to the story, and I feel like it's just not being represented appropriately.
Okay, well, Charlene, I'm just going by the court records itself and from what the actual stories that have been published on it. And the owner admits, and the owner's lawyer, Elizabeth Conway, admits that the reason why they did kick him out was because of his Make America Great Again hat. And the argument then was it... True. You want me to read you the direct quotes? And in fact, the argument was, if you want to get into it, the argument was that you had the right to politically kick somebody out. You can have political discrimination. So then what happened was Greg Piatek's lawyer said, okay, you want it on religious grounds, religious protection. He went to the 9/11 memorial site. The cap was a spiritual cap. It represented his spiritual beliefs.
But it doesn't. I mean,
but that's not the issue. But that's not the issue, Charlie. Again,
I think that you're being inflammatory. Though.
No, I'm not being inflammatory. I'm telling you exactly what's been reported in the press. So what I'm saying is,
I also read it.
No, I understand. I understand. Look, I don't know what it is with this topic. Look, the judge ruled. The judge ruled. Turn her down. The judge ruled that this was a case of political discrimination, and that the owner had the right to kick him out because of his political views. And then so the lawyer was trying to argue, Greg Piatek's lawyer, well, this was religious. Now, I thought that was laughable, to be honest with you. But this idea that somehow, he was being abusive to the staff, he was getting abusive to the staff because they were telling him to get his ass out of there because he was a Trump supporter.
Did he spend $186 and leave a 20% tip?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yes, and when they asked for more, no. When they asked for more, when they said we want to keep drinking, they said we don't want to serve your kind here. Get the hell out. We refuse you service. Why? Because of that freaking cap. So I don't know what you're talking to me about.
Legal. For one, it's legal.
Well, hold on. Okay, so it was because of his political views. Thank you. Now we're getting to the heart of the issue. Finally, okay? So it was legal. Yes, it's legal discrimination. That's my point.
Right.
And my question to you is this. Why should every other group under the planet have protected status or be a protected class, but not conservatives and Trump supporters? What are we, the new Jews?
But hold on.
No. I'm asking you a serious question. I'm asking you a serious question. You just said, well, he couldn't invent a protected class on the spot. Okay, so what now? We're the new Jews? You can mistreat us. You cannot serve us.
That's so inflammatory. So if I was a conservative owner of anything and somebody came in with their hat, like your former guy just had on, that said, hope and change, I could do the same thing legally, say, I don't want to serve you. But he was served. He was served almost $200 worth of drinks.
You don't, again, listen, Charlene, listen to me. I'm not going to argue with you over the basic facts. Listen, I can cite to you the judge. The judge said he was kicked out because of his political views. And he said it's not outrageous conduct to do so. So the reason why they were denied service was because of their political views. So I don't understand what the argument here is. You keep switching grounds, but it was legal. Okay, fine, it was legal, but it's legalized discrimination. Now, let me get to the heart of the issue, okay? And this is where you liberals cannot argue. This is the point. If a Christian baker has to be compelled to bake a cake for a lesbian or a gay couple, and if they don't, and this is a provable fact, their businesses was closed down. They were sued and fined over $500,000. They were driven financially into the ground. If the same thing was happened to a New Mexico photographer, then let me ask you, that business should be closed down. If discrimination is wrong, discrimination is wrong. But what you liberals have done is you have created a two-tier justice system. Some classes are protected, some classes are not. Well, I'm sorry, but that to me is illegal and immoral and wrong. I'm a human being too. Just because I voted for Trump doesn't mean you can deny me my rights.
I'm not trying to. And first of all, I'm not a liberal.
Well, I don't care. I'm just saying that judge is. That judge is a liberal, and that owner was a liberal, and that owner says she's a liberal.
Yes, but my point is that I feel like this is just so unnecessary to stir things up and to say that, we're being treated as the new Jew, which is offensive in itself. And
that's offensive. Unbelievable.
Misrepresent the
Unbelievable. By the way, do you know that in Brooklyn, two people wearing the Make America Great Again hat were assaulted by liberals? It's in the New York Post. And were beaten to a pulp. They had to get plastic surgery. Do you know that in March of last year, people wearing a Make America Great Again hat in Manhattan were physically assaulted because they wore that cap? Do you know that the New York Post had a journalist put on a hat as a social experiment and walked around New York and said, by the grace of God, I wasn't beaten to a pulp. People were swearing at me. People were spitting at me. And repeatedly, I was refused service. It's all there.
To all kinds of different people doing different things. And that is a problem with humanity. It's not because liberals are trying to attack conservatives.
Well, I don't know. Look at college campuses. I'll tell you this. Liberals aren't being shouted down on college campuses. Conservatives are. Liberals aren't being censored on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook. Conservatives are. You don't have conservative groups like Antifa going around burning college buildings, assaulting people with impunity. That's what the left does. You don't want to acknowledge that there is now the rise of liberal intolerance and that we don't have tolerance from the left anymore and that now it's open season on conservatives. So conservatives are being attacked. Conservatives are being assaulted. Conservatives are being denied their basic civil rights. Conservatives are being shouted down at campuses. They're being beaten up on campuses. And now they're being denied service at a bar. So, yes, it's not the Holocaust. The Holocaust happened during World War II. But under Nazi Germany in the 1930s, I'm an historian, I know this, they were treated as second-class citizens. So, what the Make America Great Again baseball cap has become? The new yellow star. Conservatives are becoming second-class citizens. And like Kanye West, I'm urging all conservatives to say, enough is enough. Freedom of thought, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. It's still America, the last time I checked. Anthony in New Hampshire, you're up next. Thanks for holding and welcome.
Jeff, after those last two calls, I'm surprised you didn't do it. Can I do it for you? Woo! Wow.
The Moonbats are out in force today, Anthony.
Wow. And then I love when you call liberals nowadays, they immediately say, oh, but I'm not a liberal. Yeah, okay. Walks like a duck. You're a duck, lady. But Jeff, the reason why I called is we could do the same thing right back at them. When a gay person comes into your business, I'm all for serving them, believe me, because I don't care what you are. But if you want to play that game, pull a liberal in line. I'm not doing this because you're gay. I know that you're a liberal, and I don't want to do business with liberals. Get out of my store. I'm not discriminating because of you're gay. I'm discriminating because you're a liberal. 90% of gay people are liberals. So therefore, you're a liberal. Get out of my store. I mean, it's just that
Anthony,
simple.
Anthony, I never thought of that.
I mean, it literally, I mean, if they want to play that game, we can do the same thing right back at them. And as far as this just being an isolated issue that you don't need to sound the alarm for, there's a lady in California selling $1 million house that is advertising. If you're a Trump supporter, don't bother coming to try and buy the house. She won't sell it to you. So you're 100% right, Jeff. We're being discriminated. I can't wear that pin. I'll get killed in Lawrence. I work in Lawrence every day. I would love to have a bumper sticker on my car. I'll get shot. I'm all set. I have a family. I have to come home at night. I have the Spanish people complain about Trump. I just do what they do to me. Yeah, and I keep my mouth shut. I value my life. I shouldn't have to live that way in my country because of my political beliefs.
Anthony, you know, it's funny because the people here, upper management, have told me, Jeff, it's up to you. We're not going to tell you what to do, but don't put a Trump bumper sticker on your car because they're going to vandalize your car. So even upper management is telling me, don't tell anybody publicly you're a Trump supporter because you're going to get in big trouble. So, and now they're trying to deny when you show all this evidence of all of this discrimination against conservatives, suddenly, but they were served $186 in drinks. Yeah, until they found out he was a Trump supporter. Then they said, blank you. We refused the right to service. I mean, it's just, they don't want to see the reality that's in front of everybody's nose. Anthony, thank you very much for that call. Charlie in Maine, you're up next. Go ahead, Charlie. Hello, Charlie. Okay, we lost Charlie. Let's go to Larry. You're up next. Go ahead, Larry.
Hello.
Larry.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Larry?
I just wanted to say quickly, America is living Homer's Odyssey, you know? And when I say the Odyssey, I mean Odysseus. Lost for 10 years. His kingdom was occupied, you know what I mean? By threats and by illegal illegal things were happening to his palace. You know, when he came back, he brought order, you know what I mean? And reason and sense. Thank God, America, you know, and I say that from the heart, Mr. Jeff. Thank God that America today is being taken over, you know what I mean, by the American people who love this country, you know what I mean, by all the Americans, not just all the Americans who love this country and stand up for freedom, you know?
Larry, so you're basically saying Trump is almost a modern-day Odysseus.
Yes, I just want to, I don't say he's Odysseus, but I want to characterize the country and the situation of that time with Odysseus when he was lost for 10 years. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Larry, I hear you. And look, and thank you for that call, Larry. Look, what is so offensive? They're doing it now to Kanye West. Okay, I talked about it the last hour. Make America great again. How could you find that offensive? I mean, he wants to make America great again, like it used to be great. And you find that offensive? My friends, it's time that we conservatives say enough is enough. We will stand up for our civil rights, our legal rights, our constitutional rights. We will not back down. We carry the torch of liberty. And on this, we take our stand. Jeff Kuhner, Boston's bulldozer, cleaning up the liberal bull. I need another hour. I need another hour. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all on Monday. Bye-bye.
The Kuhner Report is powered by Kelly Financial Services. 888-800-1881. Get the peace of mind that you deserve at Kelly Financial Services. The voice of Boston is you. 680 WRKO Boston, 100.7 WZLX HD2 Boston, an iHeart radio station.